All right, hot off the presses, a Woj bomb, a Shams bomb, whatever you want to call it. Shams Charania is reporting the Sixers and Nets will engage in trade talks for Ben Simmons and James Harden before next week's NBA trade deadline. I speculated about this last week, but the Nets said, no, we're not trading before the deadline. I was like, I don't know about that. Where there was smoke, we now have fire, people. I'm going to break down everything going on with this story, as well as give you my 2 cents on the whole situation. But if you could first, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you get these daily update videos. Share this video with your friends. It really helps the channel out a lot. We are growing like crazy. All right, so like I said, from Shams Charania, he is reporting that the Sixers and Nets will reportedly engage in trade talks for Ben Simmons, for James Harden, for next week's NBA trade deadline. This all kind of kicked off last week. I think it was about a week ago I did a video on this. Harden is first and foremost very upset with living in Brooklyn. He is not like living in Brooklyn. I don't blame him. New York's kind of falling apart these days. Don't know how much better Philadelphia is, but not a fan of living in Brooklyn. And he has to have carried the load for the Nets. Kyrie out with the vaccination status. Durant out, injured as usual, not available. So it's all been on James Harden. And he has also been very frustrated with Steve Nash's rotations at the end of games and in big spots. And I think a lot of Nets fans and NBA fans can agree this was a worry about Steve Nash. He had never been a coach before. 2 years in, he hasn't really blown anybody away with his in-game adjustments and coaching. Now, the Nets are still in the East, they're still in the playoffs, but man, they've lost 6 in a row. They're falling apart. Ever since this report has come out, James Harden has looked totally dejected. He was checked out last game, and now reports are he is not playing tonight. I think James Harden is completely done in Brooklyn. Brooklyn sees the writing on the wall. He can opt out of his contract this offseason, and they get nothing for him, so they're going to try and get some assets. The only thing was Brooklyn, Philly in the same division. You never know if it's going to be a big trade like that. Ben Simmons is gone. This is a great trade piece for you. People want to take him. Who knows if he'll recommit. He's got all the talent in the world. He's as soft as a Charmin tissue box. So who knows with that whole situation. As long as the Sixers don't pay too much for him, I love this move for the Sixers. You know, they got to be the favorites in the East if they can make this move. You know, Milwaukee defending champs, they're playing all right. Not as sharp as they were last year. The Nets obviously falling off a cliff. Nobody trusts Chicago. Maybe Miami, but it's Miami. You never know, really. Embiid's having the MVP season, and they just need a score. Now, if you don't have to surrender too much, if you just give up Simmons and Maxey/Thibault and a first-round pick, or maybe Curry, you are in the money. Don't give up 3 players, maybe 2 and a pick. I would prefer it if you could just get Ben in a first. Who knows? The Sixers, everyone assumed the Sixers had no leverage because Ben Simmons wasn't playing. But now they got all the leverage because people see, oh shit, Harden's out. We could get nothing for him. I don't know who else is going to trade for Harden. This seemed like a perfect fit from the beginning. Daryl Morey and James Harden are like this, 2 peas in a pod. Could be a great fit. Now, James Harden didn't work with Chris Paul. They kind of wore on each other. I don't know if that was Chris Paul, if that was James Harden. Chris Paul doing great things with Phoenix in the West, obviously, in the finals last year. Best team in the league this year. So, could be interesting. I'm hoping James Harden's learned. I think he's matured a lot, but maybe this whole situation hasn't shown that. I thought his play on the court matured last year when he was the kind of the third man or something. I don't know. He really was a facilitator last year, truly played the point. Now he can go back to his scoring there. Sixers desperately need scoring. Him and Embiid, great kind of tandem, I think, perfectly. They can feed off each other. They need this big. But this has a lot of smoke. February 10th is the trade deadline. There's a lot of potential moves for the packages. I think that they want to get the deal done. I know that they said that the Sixers are willing to wait till the end of the year to get the Simmons deal done, which makes sense. Dame Lillard would also be a very juicy trade target here. The Blazers just did a trade today, and man, they are in full tank mode. The problem is Dame's hurt, and it's very questionable when he's going to be back. He was like 6 weeks, they were thinking, and that was a little bit ago, but not too long ago. So could be a while before Dame's back in full strength, and the Sixers are looking to make a title run this year. Definitely next year, but they think they can do it this year. You just don't want to give up too much. Like I said, Tyrese Maxey has been an absolute tear. With Ben Simmons going out, he has stepped up. He's a great young player. Matisse Thybulle, one of the best wing defenders in the NBA these days. So you don't want to sacrifice too much to get what you need, but, you know, you got to pick and choose sometimes. It's a really tough situation here for the Sixers to get Harden, but this story has a lot of legs now. We have fire, folks. I think this deal is getting done before the trade deadline. I would be shocked if it doesn't. Brooklyn sees the writing on the wall. They have to get something for Harden. You don't want to get nothing. They gave up so much for Houston to get him. And I bet Houston's kicking themselves in the pants. Yeah, maybe not, though, because they got a bunch of first-round picks, and the Nets aren't as good as they thought they were going to be. But they could have had a package deal which would have had all three of these guys going to Houston last year from Philadelphia with Ben Simmons and 2 first-round picks, but they turned it down. So I don't know, Houston might be kicking themselves in the pants right now. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this trade happening? Is it all just hoopla, smoke and mirrors? What are other big trades going to happen before the deadline? Lakers going to make a move? Could Bradley Beal slide into the mix? There's been talks around him. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.